Welcome to the inaugural Beer Brackets Christmas. Hopefully the first annual. We're going to try and do this every year. The idea behind this is that every year Alessandro and I like to kind of exchange things. We thought it'd be fun to do it on camera and share it with you guys too. We secretly sent each other something in the mail that we have that we're going to open live on camera. We're going to open our Christmas beer brackets, and we're going to close our Christmas beer brackets, and we're going to have a great time, and we hope that you guys will be here to join us for it. Alessandro, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's so exciting. I've been excited all day to be here together. And another great thing is that I think we managed to do it for the first time. We are beer bracketing Christmas.
I know. We've never beer bracketed Christmas before. This is a first for both of us. Man, okay, do you see what I have in the front here? My beer skate glass. Okay, so this was the first Christmas present that Alessandro ever got me. So we're gonna see if he can follow that up this year with something even better. We'll find out. I don't know. Let's get right into it before we start the festivities and we open our gifts to see what we got each other. I'll let you start, Alessandro. As always, I'm a gentleman. What are you opening your Christmas beer brackets with?
So I decided to start with quite classic, but Christmas Ale from Anchor Brewing Company. This is the 2020 edition. Each year they change the recipe slightly and they have a different tree featured on it. This year is the sequoia tree.
That is so cool. And does the brew stay the same every year? The flavors stay the same every year? Or is it just like the label that they change up?
It changes slightly every year. I think this is the first year they actually made it all the way up to 7%. Usually it was lower than that. So I'm actually excited to try this out. I bought a 6-pack a week ago, and I've been staring at it throughout the week thinking, oh my God, I really want to try it. I can't wait. So yeah, it's it's nice. Also nice and festive, but it's cool because each year has like a different Christmas tree on it also. So the visual aspect of the bottle is different.
Awesome. So before you pour that out, let me introduce my opening bracket, and then we can pour them out together and we'll get started. I was gonna pour it out into the skate glass, but then I figured it's got some rivets and some indentations and textures on it. I figured it wouldn't be the best for seeing the beer, so maybe for this kind of visual experience, but it's right here, it's nice and featured. It's one of my prized possessions, so don't worry. It's here in spirit in the Beer Brackets Christmas set. It's ready to be.
Perfect, and that's all that matters.
So your opening beer bracket beer is incredible. I am gonna show you mine. This is a microbrewery, local to Montreal, now actually located in Saint Jerome, Quebec, called Ciel. And this has a couple of meanings. So Ciel is actually a little brew pub that I brought Alessandro to when he came to Montreal one time to visit me there. Exactly. Their beer, I love their beer. I'm in talks negotiating with Alessandro right now to kind of do a full feature episode on Ciel beers. I'm a huge, massive fan. I think everything that they do is so interesting and so different. Every one of their beers has so much character. Even if they tackle something as kind of as simple and as common as an IPA in this sense, they take it to a whole other level. The reason why I chose this for my Christmas beer brackets, they call this a Belgian style funky IPA. And I'll put a kind of bigger shot of the case here so you can get a good idea for what that looks like. They come in these cute little packs of 4. Not 6, so you can control yourself. It's called the Dernière Volonté. And I love the artwork on these. Let's take a little zoom in there so you can see, but I'll have a nice zoomed in shot. Not only it's an IPA, but it's a very citrusy, fruity IPA. But it's so well balanced. Normally, I've mentioned this before, I'm not the biggest IPA fan. But these guys do it right, and it's not overly hoppy, and they balance it with the citrus so well, and there's some spicy aromas in there too, and it's just such a delicious beer. And it's 7% alcohol, which is relatively strong, and doesn't feel it at all. Another thing, their brew pub you went to, Alessandro, it's very kind of quaint and small, and I have a lot of good memories in the winter time hanging out there and escaping the cold in Montreal and having some beers with friends. This just makes me think of Christmas. So this is why I chose this to open my beer brackets with today. Let's pour us out. Let's open our beer brackets and pour these out. I love the name of this, Belgian style funky IPA.
Such a great name. And I'm excited. I want to hear your description about it because I know you're not usually a big IPA fan, but that sounds like incredibly interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not at all usually a big IPA fan, but for the reason that I mentioned in our Guinness review, which is that I'm not a fan of overly hopped beers. And you'll see that's kind of ironic based on the two beers that I chose today. But IPAs that are too overly hoppy, I'll have one of them, but I can't usually have more than one. It's not a flavor that I crave, so I tend to avoid them. But this one is so balanced. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, and Merry Christmas, my friend.
Merry Christmas.
Bracket Christmas.
Woo! So tell me about that one. It looks kind of dark. Is that more of like a, how would you classify that? It looks almost like a stout.
Yeah, it's classified as a winter warmer, which is kind of like a weird category, but you can think about it as almost like a brown ale with spices added. So it's close to in between like a brown ale and a porter, technically, so it has a little bit of more sweet elements, higher alcohol, -7% too. So that's actually funny. Both our beers are 7%, and we pick like completely randomly, so that's a fun coincidence. And flavor-wise, is going to have that roast character, typical of those brown ales, but also a little bit of those extra spices that they keep secret. They don't tell you exactly what they are, on the website.
Nice. For this one, it's actually all of Dieu de Ciel's beers for me. I find a lot of them are higher up in the alcohol percentage area, but they're all so smooth and so well balanced. This one, when you take a sip, it doesn't feel heavy. With the mouthfeel, it's not overly carbonated. It's not too strong on your tongue. Really smooth, but you get the citrus right away. So you get these really distinct flavors of lemon, lime, and grapefruit. Grapefruit is really strong in this. Those disappear after a second or two, and then you have the hops that kick in, and the hops linger for a second or two and then are gone, and you're left wanting more. It's a really, really good light IPA. I don't have a lot of experience with Belgian style IPAs, so maybe that's a common characteristic of them, that they're a little bit fruity and lighter. I don't know. This is something I'd like to explore a little bit down the line, but so delicious. It's so good to open the beer brackets with.
That sounds absolutely delicious, man. What I have here is, I took a little sip to test it out. First of all, the aroma is nice and roasty. It has that classic Christmassy spice. You can't really pinpoint any of the different aromas, at least at first. You get a little bit of cinnamon, almost nutmeg, but then you take a sip and you get all those same aromas enhanced and balanced out by that nice roasted bitterness that really warms you. And it's just amazing. And it doesn't feel like 7% at all. It feels like drinking Guinness, which is not that high. So this is a dangerous beer.
I think that's the common characteristic when you think of Christmassy or wintry beers, that spiciness. This has some spiciness to it as well. I didn't mention the first time, you get that element of grapefruit and citrus, but at the same time, it's almost an oregano kind of flavor that you get along with the citrus that balances it out really interestingly. I get oregano. I'm sure somebody else might pick something else out of that, but I do get a kind of like herbal spice to it in that realm, which is really interesting. And it's so well balanced with the citrus. Okay, so how are we doing this? Who's starting with the gifts? I think we should go right into it. That's why everybody's here.
I can't wait, man. I'm excited. I think we should tell about this, that we as you mentioned, we sent each other secret presents. But the funny thing is that with Joe specifically, we were waiting to film this episode because his present was a little bit late. And one day he texts me and says hey, it should be there. And I started going around the house, searching, looking everywhere, see if maybe they put it somewhere where they normally don't put it. And finally I said, nope, I can't find it. So he's reaching out, trying to figure out. And then 2 days later, my next door neighbor comes over and says, hey, by the way, I had this one here on my porch for a bit. I found out it's actually yours. Oh, thank you. Like, we've been both freaking out for the past couple of days trying to figure out where this present was.
That's what happened. They put it on the neighbor's porch because it said it was delivered, but you never got it. Okay, there's a whole story. I think you should open yours first, because then once you open it, I can tell the whole story about what I was originally supposed to get you, and then we can finish off with how this didn't arrive on time. And it's just been a whole ordeal to get this gift to Alessandro. That was supposed to be a lot more, but this is a good consolation prize. So I think you should go right ahead.
I'm excited regardless, so I'll open this, then I'll have you open mine, and then you can tell the story because I want to hear it. Like I'm excited. So here's the package.
Yeah. Unmarked package. Don't shake it too much. I'm sure it's good.
Oh, look, a bunch of threes. Oh, and they're Christmassy. They look green. Look.
They got green ones in there too?
Yeah. They're all greenish. They must be like Christmas.
They do.
Oh. I'll show you what I see. I don't know if you can see here, but so let's get all these threes out of the way, and I'll pull one up because there's two clearly in the package. Two objects here in the package. Handle with care.
Handle with lots of care.
So I'll add this one here.
So this one, I can't wait to tell this story because this is actually still ongoing. This whole story, it's not even over yet.
There you go. Oh my God, I can see. You can tell a little bit through the. Let's see if I can get it out of here without breaking anything. Feel like a little kid. I love it. Yes!
Okay, so here's the story. Originally, about a month and a half ago, I ordered from the St. Bernardus web store in Belgium. Okay, so I got us each some glasses, and I also got us each a t-shirt and some other stuff. And I was planning way ahead for this, and I was gonna send you a whole package with all this stuff. Got a really cool t-shirt. So I've been waiting a month and a half, and the package is just lost. And they were getting back to me at first, a little bit like the customer service at the shop in the brewery. And there was like a language barrier because they're in Belgium and we're both using auto-translate. And so they were tracking the package to the point where I ordered it, I think, on November 2nd. And then on November 17th was the last time the tracking was updated. And it just said, waiting for package. So, which apparently means that it's somewhere like in transit or in customs. And it's been like that ever since. There hasn't been an update since November 17th. And they're not getting back to me anymore. So it's just kind of in limbo. We don't know what's happening. So what I did was I found somebody else, another seller who sold St. Bernard's glasses, had 2 more shipped to you. And when they did finally get to you, there was a whole ordeal where they dropped them off to the wrong house. So getting Alessandro's present this year was a bit of a pain, but finally you have them.
Thank you so much, my friend. And yeah, sorry, I took one out, but it's actually 2. He sent me 2 and a bunch of 3s here. That's amazing, man. I can't wait to have you down here so that we can actually enjoy a nice St. Bernardus together with these beautiful glasses.
Now you can drink your St. Bernardus and your official St. Bernardus glasses.
I can't wait.
All right.
So it's your turn.
This is the box, the mysterious box, which is surprisingly light. I'm not gonna lie, I shook it around a couple of times, and there's something moving in there. I'm not sure what it is. Let me move these beers out of the way, and let's open this sucker up. I'm excited, man. I've been holding on to this for a long time, wondering what this was. Don't want to cut through anything there. This is like our first official YouTube unboxing video, too. Oh, okay. I got it open. I haven't seen what it is yet. There's a lot of protective bubble wrap here. Let's get this out of the way. Let me feel around. Oh! Everyone needs something to believe in. I believe in having another beer. This is perfect. This is going up in the set. It's definitely going right up there in the background.
And the funny thing is that I was scrolling my trying to find ideas something to get you, and I didn't want to get you glasses again. One thing I actually really thought about getting these glasses.
Did you really? Oh, you saw those too?
I saw them.
Yeah.
And I thought like, oh, that would be good. But also then I thought like, I gave them glasses last time. I don't want to always get the same thing, so I went for something slightly different. And I saw that, and I thought like you could maybe use it in the set and different shots.
For sure.
The cool thing is that the saying on it is something that I've always been saying like for the longest time. Everybody should believe in something. I believe I'll have another beer. That's one of my favorite sayings. So I thought that was well fitting with our first beer bracket Christmas.
Thank you so much, my friend. That's amazing.
It's a pleasure.
I love this. I love this sign. I was able to balance it on the tree over here, so it's ready to go.
That's awesome. Cheers.
Cheers, man. The time has come to close our Christmas beer brackets. Alessandro, you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
It's your turn to go first.
Okay.
The gentleman with the first beer bracket, it's your turn now for the closing beer bracket.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I'll go first. So this beer actually has a little bit more meaning to it than I think you might have expected. So not necessarily directly related to you, but something that you're involved with. So we talked a lot about this on this channel. I don't want to go into too much detail on it, but basically Alessandro and I met while we were both traveling in Dublin early to mid-December. Right, it was right before Christmas. And on that trip was, the first time I tried Guinness in Dublin, which is a whole other experience in itself. But I had an amazing experience on that trip for a lot of reasons. But I was traveling on my own, and I was entering a new kind of period of my life, and I was having a great time, a great adventure. And one night I was in my hotel, the hotel bar, and I was looking out onto Grafton Street in Dublin, which is a big kind of commercial strip. And they had all these amazing decorations out for Christmas. And I'm sitting in the bar looking out, and I saw a beer that I'd never seen before that caught my attention and that I absolutely had to try. And that beer was Guinness Hophouse 13, which I had never tried before that. I asked the bartender to pour me a pint of that. He cracked open, poured me out a pint, and I was blown away. And so, nice little 4-pack over here. It has the trademark Guinness quality to it. They call it a double hopped lager. But I think I'm always going to kind of associate this beer with Christmas just for that experience. Being there in Ireland was brewed right before Christmas with all the Christmas decorations up and just kind of looking out over that at night with all the lights really, really bright. Bartender passing me a freshly poured pint of Guinness Hophouse 13 and trying this for the first time. It blew me away. So this is what I'm closing my holiday Christmas beer brackets with. Let's pour this out.
That's such a great story, and also such a great beer.
It's really, really good. You know what? It's easy to find and hard to find where I am at the same time, which is a little weird to say. It's kind of random where you can find it. So in Canada, it differs from province to province on where you can buy your beer and your liquor and your wine and so forth. Where I'm living now in Ontario, they have government-run liquor commissions where you can go to buy, and then they have the actual beer stores where you can go to buy specifically beer. They sell the beer at the liquor commissions as well. So if you go there, you may find some certain things and you may not find some certain things. There's not really a lot of consistency. The mainstream beers, if you're looking for Budweiser, if you're looking for Canadian, you're looking for Molson Canadian or whatever it is, you'll find like the Coors Light, you'll find all these basics. But if you're looking for something a little bit more specific, it's a little hit or miss. This one is a little hard to find. Whenever I feel like it, I can't find it, and then I'll randomly see it, and I'll pick up a pack and bring it home and just hold on to it. But this beer is so incredible. I have to say, they call it the double hopped lager. It has that. I was reading about this before, and on the Guinness website, they say how they use the same the same barley to brew it. And you can really kind of taste, it has that same smokiness that you associate with the Guinness Stout. It has a real like smoky taste to it right away. And then there's that slight finish of hops, but the hops are so, even for what they call a double hopped lager, the hop flavor is very subtle. It's really a very smoky lager. And if anybody watched our first beer bracket video, I kind of compare it to the Henderson's food truck that I presented in that episode. In terms of the smokiness, it has such a good aroma though. It's light, but it's so flavorful. And we talked about this. We love the smokiness. You and I are the same in that sense, right? Like we love that smoky element in beer. This is this is just a lager that really accentuates that smoky element. I love it so much. It's my closing beer bracket for Christmas.
That's such a great beer, my friend. Well, I'll be right after here you. I just wanted to add to what you were saying. It's funny how that beer is a beer that I've had in Ireland. You can actually find it relatively easy in Italy, but currently in here where I am at least, I can't buy that. I might be able, like, if looking for it, but it's a little bit more difficult to find beer. But I agree with you. It's such a good beer, so balanced. So great choice there, my friend.
Yeah, their distribution for this beer is so strange. Like you can find it in most countries, but where you can find it in those countries is so random and it's so sporadic.
Yeah, exactly.
I think maybe it's because, like, I don't know, buyers are just people who stock the shelves in whatever store it is you go to buy your beer. Maybe they just think that the secondary Guinness beer won't sell as well, and they're not stocking the shelves with it. But man, it's one of my favorites overall. I think it's one of my, if I had to name top 5 favorite beers, I really think this would be up there. For me, it's one of my favorites.
I remember having it, and I haven't had it in a long time, but that experience is still stuck in my mind. Like, it's really, really nice. So I agree with you. It's definitely up there in the top favorite beers. It's one of those that you walk past and you say, oh no, yeah, I gotta have this one. You just grab it.
Yeah, it's got that, for 5% alcohol, it's very, very smooth. We talk about like the strength of alcohol compared to the taste and the overall flavor. Balanced perfectly. It's got that smokiness, which we love. It's got the Guinness quality to it. It's got just such a good color to it as well.
Is it, does it have the widget? Is it on nitro or is it just CO2?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have the widget, unfortunately. This infused with nitrogen would actually be pretty cool, but it doesn't, no. So, okay.
We can suggest that, like, to Guinness, maybe if they watch the episode.
Yeah, let's call their customer service and, like, yeah, let's leave a suggestion in their suggestion box. Like, guys, throw a widget in this. All right, what are you closing your beer brackets with? I'm dying. I gotta find out.
Friends, so I went with a beer that we've had together one time. Not actually, I think the last time that we met. So, but it's a beer that unfortunately you can't really access that easily. On the other hand, I chose this beer because it's a beer that, at least since I moved here in the United States, has been a beer that I've always had for Christmas. And fun enough, I had never had it before moving here, even though it's a beer that is not from the United States. And the beer is San Bernardus Christmas Ale.
This is so fitting. You got the St. Bernardus glass.
Exactly. And I know you hate me a little bit right now, but I also had to get back to you for the terrible that you had, like, in the beer bracket episode. So sorry about that. But at the same time, I thought that, you know, when I was opening the gift and I saw it was a San Bernardus glass, I said, see, we're connected. We're on the same page here.
That's amazing. Okay, I know it hasn't been washed. If you want to, like, take a second and go wash that baby before pouring it out, but you gotta put it in that glass.
I did that because, well, you guys don't know, but we took a little break in between the first and the second beer. So I was telling him, hey, I gotta be right back, just 1 second. So I went and actually washed the glass. So see, also the cap is also green. It's so cool.
So the last time you came to visit me in Toronto, you brought me one of those.
I brought you the 750. The big one, yeah. But they sell it also in 4-packs, and I actually had to buy this like 3 weeks ago because they sell so fast. And look, it looks so festive. Look how happy the monk is. With the snow and the snow over the beer almost. Like, it's so cool.
Is he winking?
He's not. So it's not the 1000th beer.
It's a fun fact for anybody who doesn't know that. Apparently on every 1000 St. Bernardus bottle, the monk is winking.
Yeah, and I think they only do it for the ABT12, but I am not 100% sure. They might be doing it also for the Christmas ones. That means we need to keep buying them to make sure if we can find the winking monk.
Because you don't win anything if you find the winking monk, right? It's just like...
No, you don't win anything. It's just there, but, well, you win the beer.
You win the beer. What better prize? Yeah, you let me try that. You brought me a bottle of it because you just can't find that one, at least where I am, either in Quebec or Ontario. You can't find the Christmas ale. And you brought a bottle down and it was delicious. Actually, if you could describe to me again, I remember it being very similar in my mind in flavor notes to the ABT12. I remember thinking this is really good. I couldn't really spot too many differences. I knew there were, but at this moment I don't remember what they were. So if you can walk me through it, tell me what you're tasting there.
Oh, I'm excited to do that for you, my friend. I'm so sorry you can't taste it with me, but I will definitely do that at least. And with this new and amazing, powerful glass, I'm going to be able to taste all of the extra flavors in the beer.
You gotta put that up to the camera to show it all.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's the perfect glass for that beer.
So it's meant to be.
So, let's go. Let's take a little sniff. Oh, yes. So, it smells very similar. You're absolutely right. It smells very similar to the St. Bernardus ABT12. But remember, like I described it as almost like banana bread. But this... adds a little bit of those Christmas spices, so nutmeg, cinnamon. I don't know exactly that classic Christmassy combination. Let's say I can't pinpoint one or the other, but it's more like an overall Christmassy feeling, almost like a Christmas fruitcake.
One thing I love about the Hophouse 13, the aroma, I get caramel instantly off the aroma off this beer, which is interesting because you don't get that sweet taste at all when you actually taste the beer and take it in. But the first aroma, and I really love this style of glass, and please, if somebody knows what this is called, please let me know in the comments. I know some things about beer, but I'm an idiot with a lot of things. So I don't know exactly what this style of beer glass is called or exactly what type of beer it's for. But what I love about this is that it has a lot of characteristics of a regular pint glass, but it also comes to a bit of a more angled point at the top. So it's really good for experiencing an aroma because it's so narrow. When you take a sip, your nose is really isolated in the glass. So you get that full experience, which I really, really appreciate. And with the Hophouse...
Sorry, man, go ahead.
With the Hophouse 13, you get this initial aroma of caramel, which is so interesting. But that disappears after. You don't get that in the taste at all. And it doesn't linger. It's not there in the finish either. But it's like a smoky caramel. It's so good. Almost like a... what's that dessert that's like a creme brulee? Oh, creme brulee! It's almost like a creme brulee aroma.
There you go. So you get that roasted character, but also that like sweetness. That's a great description. Yeah, I can picture that.
This beer is just incredible. Top notch. All right, so tell me, what are you tasting now that you... So in the aroma, you're getting some spices.
You get those spices, like Christmas spices, almost like you take a bite in a fruitcake. So that banana, still like that estery character from the yeast, but then you get that cake mixed with candied fruit, raisins, plums, and nutmeg and cinnamon and all of that. And on top of that, you get that classic St. Bernardus ABT12 that almost like underlines everything else, and it's there to keep everything together. And on the palate, I would say it tastes very close to the San Bernardus ABT12 as far as the characteristics. But the finish brings out again all of that Christmas spices, and it really hugs you from the inside. That's the best way I can I can describe it. It's really there, like you say. It's here. It's winter. It's great. Like, just let's sit here and have a beer.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us for our first ever, hopefully annual Christmas episode of Beer Brackets. We had a great time. I love my gift. Alessandro's already used his somehow. He's already managed to put it into use. We had 2 great beers. We opened and closed our Christmas beer brackets. We caught up. We had a great time. 2020's been a really challenging year for everybody. We still found a way to keep in touch and to have good beers together and to talk. And hopefully you guys did too. Happy holidays to everyone who happens to see this, who happens to be following the channel. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, follow us on our journey here at Beer Brackets, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers, everyone. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Enjoy. Have a good time. Have some beers. Don't forget to close the beer brackets. And most important, get ready for next year because there's a lot of fun content. So subscribe on the channel, comment if you like our videos, and follow us because we're gonna come strong in 2021. Cheers. Happy holidays.